So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bomber Bespoke. Today, High on Heels, a series of classes where we're teaching you everything we know about high heel shoes and boots. And I'm not doing it alone, I'm doing it with my friend,
Aspiring future professor Peter Shalom Gebe.
First of all, what are high heels? So we asked Google. Google spoke a lot of Turenchi, the summary of which is that high heels have a heel height of about 3 to 4 inches or 7.5 to 10 cm. If you go higher than that, then you are in the realms of platforms for which you would have to add something in front to make it easy to walk in. I agree with Google. But that begs the question, what is the heel height? It is the distance from here to there. A measurement of how far the heel lifts off of the ground when the toe spring in front is factored in, measured by placing something in front like a pencil and then measuring how far the heel lifts off of the ground. So like we saw in the definition of high heel shoes, for it to be high heel, it must be between 3 to 4 inches or 7.5 to 8 centimeters. So let's try this last. Is it a high heel? The heel height is 6 cm, so it is not. How about this one? Heel height is 7.5 cm, so it is a high heel. So even though it is a male shoe last, it can still be a high heel. In the course of this class, we are going to be making this boot. So those of you who are not in the paid class, ensure that you do pay so that you can join us when we're making. But first of all, we're going to make the base, the basic form from which we are going to construct all of the shoes that we're going to be making in this class, and that is the mean form. Now, like we always do, we have taped up the last, and additionally, because it's a high heel, we also taped up the underside so that we can generate the pattern for the sole and the insole as well. Let me measure the last length of this last, which is measured by measuring from the middle of the back center line to the tip. On this last, the last length came to 30 cm. Now we're going to be subdividing that last length into different factors. First of all, we'll divide it by 4, we'll divide it by 5, and then we will divide it by 8. Divided by 4, it came to 7.5 cm, by 5, 6 cm, and then by 8, 3.75 cm. First measurement is the subdivision into 5 places. And that gives us the measurement of the counterpoint, a point starting from the heel on the center line, moving upwards 1/5 of the last length, which is the last length divided by 5. Now, the next thing, so we've marked the counterpoint at the back. Now, the point of intersection between that line you see that runs from the widest point on the inside of the last to the widest point at the back, that line is called the vamp line. The point of intersection with the center line in front is called the vamp point. Now, if we measure 1/4 of the last length, which is the last length divided by 4, upward on the center line towards the top, we'll mark out a point called the instep. Next, we will cut out the insole and sole pattern by cutting along the feather edge, which is that edge. And then also we will cut out the last copies, which is the right side and the left side, or the inside and the outside of the subdivision of the taped up last, cutting along the center line. So first of all, the insole pattern, we'll peel that off and secure it to a flat piece of paper, making sure to keep it as consistent as we can without having too many wrinkles or rumples. So we cut that out and then mark that line there from the ball to the ball, and then also indicates the center and also the ball positions on the medial side and then as well as on the outside, the lateral side. So that's our sole pattern. Let's us peel out the last copy. So this taped up side on the right side or on the outside part is called the lateral side. So we peel that out and then do the same for the inside. We're going to take all the necessary precautions and just be careful enough to flatten out these last copies on flat cardboard, avoiding as much as possible many major wrinkles. So the first thing is we will straighten out that middle line like so, cut a few notches at the tip and flatten that using a flat surface. Then also flatten. It's a little bit more difficult with high heels, but it can be done. Now, like I always mention to people, it's not a problem to have little wrinkles all along that line, but to have one major wrinkle, one big wrinkle, is not good. Then you, of course, you can cut some notches around the heel area as well, and then flatten that out. Then you mark out your counterpoint, your instep, and your van point, and then you'll do the same for the lateral side. Now, having flattened out the last copies, we're going to create what is known as the mean form.
Wait, what's happening? Why is everything getting blurry? Too much drinking of Gary. I know na talk say Tinubu won't ban Gary.
Welcome to chapter 2, ladies and gentlemen. In chapter 1, we created the last copies. We marked out the counterpoint, the van point, and the balls, as well as the instep. We cut notches on the inside, the medial side. So now we are flipping it around and then we're going to trace it on a blank piece of cardboard. Then if we draw a line from the vamp point to the ball, that's the vamp line. Then we'll take the lateral side, place the heel on the heel of what we traced out earlier, and then the tip on the tip of what we traced out earlier, and then tracing the outline of the lateral side itself onto the earlier trace out outline that we had made of the medial side. You will notice that the counterpoints, well, it depends on your own lat. Some of those points will not correspond. So basically, what you want to do is to find the average of the two, the middle of whatever differential you have. So like you see the two outlines at the back there, I found the middle in between those two lines, and then also around the center line, I also find the middle. Then you notice that because of some of the errors and freckles that we had around the counterpoint, around the vamp point, the vamp points did not correspond with each other on the same spot. I basically also found the middle between the two and used that as my new vamp point. Towards the feather edge, which is the under part of the last, I basically just took the longer of the two lines, being that it is going underneath the last in any case, and therefore excess leather never hurt anybody. You'd understand what I mean when we are lasting. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the mean form. It's going to form the foundation, the basic shape with which we are going to design most, if not all, of the shoes that we're going to be doing in the course of these classes. So that's the first part, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to start designing our boot, and that is going to be the subject of the next class, which I hope to see you in. And if you've not already done that, please go ahead and subscribe, like and share this video with your friends. And if you found that you got any value for this content, we would invite you to, consider sending us a super thanks. So until we see you in the next class, ladies and gentlemen, this is me signing out. Thank you very much. God bless you.